Alright, and welcome again to another edition of game development, SDL with Crazy Eddie's GUI. And my name is Nate Disler, and this is for Hyperactive Studios. Now I'm going to go ahead and launch another virtual machine here. And this is so I can show you basically what needs to be done. But let's talk about that real quick. Alright, so we're going to do this here, and this is a whole setup here. Say I wanted to do a game here, and then I can literally just create my interface as needed. And so this is really cool. But how do we get this program in place? And this works with Crazy Eddie's GUI and basically kicks out a GUI file that we can load up and use it to generate this GUI in our program. So it's really cool, and it's really easy to use, and it's quite nice. Does help if you've had previous experience doing graphical application development, GUI development, but if you haven't, it's no problem. It's pretty easy to get the hang of, so it's not bad at all. There is a process here, though, to this whole thing. So a few things we're going to need here, and that is that we're going to need how to get the downloads. And we'll get into the skins here in a bit, which are really cool, by the way. Let's see here. Yeah, okay, image set editor, we need that one. Yeah, so we need just basically, if you went to downloads here, that's where we're at. And then you'd have the CEGUI LayoutEditor and the CEGUI image editor, and then you also have the simple image loading library downloads. So yeah, we actually need to download all these, build all these, and then also rebuild this thing to work with these here so that it works for the whole thing. And then we'll also grab those particular skins like I was just showing a second ago. In this case, we're actually using the skin from Ogre default skin for some of their applications, but there's other ones where you make it look like the Mac, or like, I mean, it looks cool as all get out. Very, very cool looking setup indeed. Alright, I'm just going to log in real quick, and I'll start downloading these in this other setup here and show you how to go about it. Okay, so let me go ahead and expand this out. And just as before, we need to download some of this other stuff. Now, didn't have Silly before because Silly's just not a regular library. It's something that's only with CEGUI here. So yeah, we actually have to do some stuff that's special here to make this happen. So that's when we did the docs before and everything. Alright, so I'm just going to get to that alone right here. So if you've gone to crazyeddie.org.udk, you can just click on downloads and you'll get to this. So I need to download this current stable version right here of 10, and I need to download for Linux, Apple, Mac. And we'll need to build this. Alright, so I just downloaded that one. It's really small, so it doesn't take any time to download hardly. Also over here I need to download our editor. And I need a source tarball for this, because they don't have a binary compiled one for Linux. They have one for the Mac and for Windows, just not for Linux, so we need to download that too. And there it goes. So downloading that one now. And last but not least, but we also need the image set editor. And we'll need to download this one also, and this only comes in as a source tarball, so no matter what platform you're on, you do need to actually compile this one. So it doesn't matter which one. If you're on Windows, Linux, Mac, doesn't matter, you have to compile this one too. Alright, so with that said, that's all of them. Now I'm going to go ahead and launch this as a terminal and then also as a places one here. And what I want to do is I want to move, I got my programming folder here, so I want to go into my downloads one here, and I want to grab these three here, and I want to drag and drop them into my programming folder, like so. Alright, I need to extract these. So I need to extract right through there, all those. I'm just going to say extract here, and it's going to extract all of them. Bang, there we are. Alright, now I'm going to, and all I did again to do that was right click on it and then say extract here. Alright, so with that, sorry, click again, Shift plus to blow this up super big so you can see what I'm doing, sudo /-s. Alright, now I'm just going to cd into my programming folder. I'm going to ls into that, and I'm going to go cd into Silly. And I need to do Silly first because that's one of the libraries the others are based on. So it's rather important that I do that. Alright, just going to ls into there. And here we are with this setup. So I'm going to do a configure, enter. And it's going to build the configuration part of it. And these don't take long to build, thankfully. They're nothing like the overall CEGUI, Crazy Eddie's GUI system. It just takes a really short period of time to make these build. And then we're done. So thankfully these are, well, they're relatively short. See, done with the make already. So it didn't take any time really. And then I'm just going to do the make install like that. Pow, done. Alright, great, that one's done. So that was it for Silly. And now I'm going to slip into CE Image Editor. Again, I'm lazy, so I'm not going to type that out. Or say, let's say efficient here. Let's say that we're going to do some efficiency here. Okay, so it goes in, finds the stuff, blah blah blah. Great. I'm just going to do a make here real quick. Let me do a sudo real quick, or su into Nate, just in case it didn't come out with what we want. Alright, it just did what I didn't want. It automatically switched me into root privileged user, which Alright, I might need to do this one later. I thought I did that one earlier. Well, no, I did actually. I got it working. Oh, anyways. We go into CE Layout Editor. Strange. Alright, dot here, /configure. Just like so. And we need to do a make. I forgot WX widgets, yes. That's why it's not working. Yeah, that won't work without it. I forgot about that. Synaptic Package Manager. Okay, cool. And let's do a WX here for Windows widgets. We do need to do 2.8 base or higher because we are using the latest greatest on this stuff. So it is important that we do the latest greatest. FYI. And I'm just going to go ahead and select all this stuff here. Pretty much if it's got 2.8 in it, I pretty much want that. So it's kind of how that's going to go. Yeah, just give me everything 2.8. Okay, it's looking good there. Yeah, I can stand to have this for 2.8 also. And this WX common, probably 2.8 would be great. And docs here too would be a good idea. The headers are already selected, awesome. And the BG is too. And yeah, could do that one too. This basically is a cross-platform compatible graphical GUI system where you can use it to build programs that run on every operating system graphically. That's what it's for. I don't know, all you can do is Xform Builder too while I'm at it. Hey, why not? Alright, I'll say apply here. And I'll say apply again. And it's going to download and install. And this is why I wasn't building a second ago for the others. This was a required dependency. And without this, of course, it's not going to work. So that was rather important. And I totally forgot about it. Alright. But basically, once this installs, for all these parts here, we're good to go. for building the rest of it. Let me go ahead and close this out now. Alright. Now, as you saw before, let's talk about some of the aspects of this while this downloads. Alright. Okay, so the way this works is that we can have a whole totally nested system here, which is really cool, and set up our own setup. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, we'll see changes to it. And I've already done it. Sure. Alright, so do you want to start with a full screen root window? Basically, do you want your game to be full screen or not? If that's a yes, then you're going to say yes there. If it's not, you're going to say no. Typically, for editors, you're going to say no. And for in-game, you're going to say yes. Because you do want full screen most of the time for in-game. I'll also say, I don't know, maybe I'm going to do the editor part of this or whatever. Who knows? I'm going to say no to that. Okay. And I'm just going to add a new window. And let's call this editor root. Editor window root. How about that? So that way we know it's the editor window and it's the root window. So it's the main window for that one. Okay. And I can choose between different themes here. And I even did sleek space here. There's a bunch of different ones to look at. And a number of them are different, or have a different look to them, and they're really cool. But first off here, I need to do a frame window. And a frame window is going to be basically our starting window, so to speak. And it's what contains the other windows in it if we nest them as parent-child setups. Alright, so with this, if I go ahead and say OK, it'll give me a window. Awesome. And this is my overall window for the whole setup here. Now it doesn't know how big I want it to be, so I just need to basically grab this and pull it down to make it take up the space I want it to be. And this will be the default starting size it'll be, and position, mind you. And those values come out here. Now I could expand this out and make it bigger, blah blah blah, if I want. Call this game editor for now. Alright. Bam, and there we are. And we have a game editor now. And right now the skin we're using is going to be Ogre Tray. And I think this looks great. There are other ones here too, like I could do Sleek Space here, or I could do Tarzan Look, whatever, which looks kind of cool too. Taharza, or how do you say it? I don't know how you say it. Vanilla, it's just standard. And then Windows Look. And then there's also one for making it look like a Mac, which I don't have loading because I need something else installed I don't have installed, so that's what's preventing it from working. But it looks really cool. But I like the Ogre one here just fine, so this works out great. Okay, so I'm going to nest a window inside this window here. So maybe it's going to be the property editor sheet, for instance, which is, you know, basically where you put in the values for a game aspect or something like that, for nodes or something of that nature. Okay, so let me choose a frame window, and I'm going to give it a different name. I'm going to call it property editor. Okay, let's do window, and it's going to become the property editor window. I'm going to say OK to that, and then now I'm going to have a little separate window in here. Very cool. And typically a property editor window is going to be on the right hand side, so I'll conform with standards basically here. Right, and this typically is going to be a long window. Whoa, accidentally grabbed the whole thing. Let me click that and pull that down. Get a little more accurate here if my grab moves. Alright. And so essentially this could hold all the properties values that I can input and set for different nodes here over on the node sheet. And they'll work out fine. Property editor. Okay. And that works good. Now if I want, I can put additional elements in here and nest them in here. And that's no problem really. Could be a number of things that you're going to want in here. Typically you're going to want like labels and edit boxes and things of that nature on a regular basis. So let me go ahead and say add in here. And I don't know, how about prop edit box EB, for instance. And I'll just choose an edit box, and I'll say OK. And there's an edit box where someone can start typing in something. Now this thing's really elongated, so I don't want it to be like that. But maybe I want it to be some kind of value here, where I could type in something. Maybe it's the position, right? Maybe I need to put an X, Y, and Z, for instance, for location on something, or maybe I need to do colors or something like that. Who knows? You know what I mean? Tons of stuff. All right, now I don't want my next property to get added. I want to be child of this sheet here and not this right here. So if I select this overall sheet, it's going to add it to the sheet. If I don't, it's going to make it, you know, a child of this edit box. I don't want that. I want it to be a child of my property editor. So I'm going to have it set with the property editor window here before I say add window on the next one. Let's do prop label, for instance. LBL, short for label. Title, title bar. We got sliders here, so if you need to do a slider, you can do a spinner where you click the buttons up and down to increase the values up or down. That's very useful too. Static image, static text. This would be considered static text. Sometimes it's called a label. Sometimes it's referred to as static text. Sometimes it's typically referred to as a label, but in here they're calling it a static text, and that works fine for me too. Alright, let's go ahead and add that. Okay. Now I can say we can see where it starts to look good and where it doesn't. Cool. Alright, so realistically we'd have something in here like, I don't know, 5.0 for instance, or something like that. Realistically, that's what we would do. So location X, Y, Z, etc. You know, and then you'd have like scale or rotation X, Y, Z, and you'd have scale X, Y, Z, you know, for placing an object and scaling and stuff inside the editor. So, you know, you can have your property editor set up like this, and you can have these great looking controls laid out in here to do your game editing. And this will let you place and move objects inside the scene in the world. So, very cool. I was hopeful. Oh well, I tried. There we go. I got it that time off there. Oh well. I can simply just delete that if it's a problem. Well, typically you can. I guess don't do a copy and paste. I've deleted things in the past. I guess that one doesn't like to be deleted. There he goes. Finally. Alright. So I can easily add another one here to this whole property sheet if I so desire, going through the same pattern over and over again. There's other things I can do too. I could set it up to where maybe I added a list box here, which lets you do like radio buttons here, so you select between it. Well, you select through different items in the list box, and the list box works great for a lot of things here. Multi-line edit box lets people type in like maybe a comment or something. Maybe people want to be able to attach a message along with their object, so that way they can leave another person on the team a message about the part of that scene or something they're working on. You know, that's great and that's nice to do. You can have that added to it if you like. Progress bar, radio button, let's see, where you like switch back and forth between the different ones. This is where you like have a little dot inside the control when you click on it, and it fills in that dot. There's a bunch of these that are really good. Real quick, let's go check on our install and see where we're at on that. And it's done. Okay. I'll try doing CE image editor image set one more time. I'm lazy, I'm gonna type that all out. Alright. Sudo slash dot configure there. Sudo make. And now it suddenly wants to work. And that was it. Just like I said, I knew that was the problem. So yeah, I didn't have the WX Windows or XW Windows installed, so of course it wouldn't build and work because of that. And once we get all this stuff set up, it's going to let us do this graphical layout editing setup, which is really cool. Alright, and it's going to do the sudo make install, and bam, it's done. Alright, so now that's installed. Now I just need to go over here and do the editor now. CE LayoutEditor. I'm going to go ahead and go into there now. And I'm just going to say configure. And there we go. I'm just going to do a make now. The cool thing about the silly image setup there, we didn't have to have anything for dependencies for that to just build, so that just went like super easy right at the beginning of the video there. These other ones use WX or XW Windows, and so we have to do a little bit more work to get them into place. But the silly was a dependency, wasn't an absolute necessity for CEGUI, but it is an absolute necessity for this layout and also for image set. And so is silly. You know, so if you don't have those two set up in addition to the other stuff that we have in place on the CE GUI, you're not going to be doing anything on here as far as the GUI layout. I mean, you can go in and hand code out this stuff in XML, and we'll get into how that stuff lays out in XML for these layouts and such. But basically, okay, so the last command I did was make. Okay, that's what I thought. Sudo make install. Okay, so now that's installed too. Awesome. And that was it. Okay, so we got all that stuff installed and set up. Awesome. But before this is going to work for our layout editor, we need to actually rebuild CEGUI. I know that's probably annoying. This is a very long build, but you have to have silly built from CEGUI. And even though we have silly made, we don't have silly CEGUI files made, and we need the ones from CEGUI made from silly in order to make that work. So first off, I need to do make clean. And what that does is wipes out any builds that we did previously and gives us a clean slate, which means it's going to work better. Otherwise, you might have junk sitting around from beforehand that will prevent it from working properly. So that's always going to be a problem if you don't do it. So it's dash dash disable dash devil, because we need to disable devil again. And I'm going to build that configuration again. Okay. And that's going, and we should see an update here on the screen telling us that we do have silly, that devil is disabled, and that we have glue and all this stuff here, right? Alright, so let's have a look at it. So we have pretty much what we expected to have. just going to shrink that down a tab because I want it to fit easier on here. So no devil, but yeah, check it out. We now have silly. So that's great. That's what we wanted. And yeah, and yes, we have glue library and we have OpenGL and everything else that we wanted. So cool. That's all we needed. And for the GUI, for the configuration now. So now we need to do the make, and then we'll have to do the make install, of course. And this is going to take a while, as you remember from last time. Now remember, I said you could remake and it wouldn't be a problem, and it's not. And so once this thing is done, it's just going to end up, when we do the sudo make install, it's going to actually put this into where we want it to be for the libraries. And that will make it possible for us to run our application, because currently, right now, we're not going to be able to do that. We're just not going to have the silly files there to start with. But let's look at something else that we need to grab. Well, we don't have to, but it's really cool if we do, because it's just neat to have it. And it gives you more options. And granted, you can do your own too if you want to do your own theme. So let's talk about grabbing themes, because the skins are cool. Or at least I think they are. I think a lot of other people do too. Alright, so with this, check it out. Here's some of the possible themes that you can just download for free. And here's Sleek Space that I downloaded a second ago. So let me go ahead and download this one real quick. Alright, select that and say OK. Very cool. Let's go back over here. You can see different themes and different looks to different stuff. Here's Aquatic, and Aquatic does look like the Mac. Yeah, see how it has like that, more like a, I don't know, Mac OS X look to it. Just click on download and you can download Aquatic. I'll show you how to hand install these files too. Alrighty. And that one looks really nice. You can make your own too, don't forget about that. And there's a shiny gray one that looks really cool also. So if you want, you can go in here and download it, but I guess nope, it's not up. Link's no longer good, I'm afraid. It's too bad because it looks really nice. Alright. So these are the ones you can choose from, and again, you can make your own if you so desire, or if you have an artist on your team or something like that, they can make the GUI elements. And artists would be that's used to web development or something like that would have an easy time with this, because this is XML for the documents. It lays out in a very nice, clean, easy pattern, and then they could easily go in there and theme it up and make it look awesome and create the skins, because a lot of web designers are used to doing this kind of thing for video players or anything like that on the web. So this is kind of standard practice for a lot of web developers. So they could do a really great job with these interfaces. If you find a web designer that can just kick out beautiful work on this stuff, then they'll create great GUIs for your game engine. And like I said, since it's an XML and that we're using XML, then it works out great. Okay, so there's our skins. And of course we're still building here, and that's fine. We're going to do this like a cooking show again. And I'm going to come over here now, and I'm going to start hand placing those files. And my reasoning for doing so, let me show you a few tricks here, first off. Okay. So I can come in here, I'm going to blow this up a bit so you guys can see it. Sudo-s, become my root user again. Okay. And I'm going to do Nautilus. And you might be going, well, how do you know the name is Nautilus? Well, let me go ahead and launch that one. And I go over here to help, and I say about, and check it out. It's called Nautilus. That's how I know. And basically, I can just pop that in over here. Nautilus. But it's not going to be a capital N. That's going to be a lowercase n like that. And the cool thing about this is, let me go ahead and close that one. This is now running at root level. Check it out. You have a root user here. Why is it running at root level? Because we did sudo space -s. So this gives us a higher permission level so that we can do anything we want on the system and move files around however we like. And that's great. That's what we want to do. I'm going to go ahead and click on places here and go over to tree. And now I can just expand this out how I need to. If I go to home, Nate, and then downloads, you'll see a few things: Aquatic Look and Sleek Space Skin. Alright, Now I didn't do the install I needed in order for the Xers that will give me all the functionality that's needed for XML processing in order to do a quadratic look. If you do want a quadratic look, you will need to do that. All you have to do is hand install that, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So it's totally up to you if you want that or not. But as it goes, user local, of course. It's all going into local. Why is it going to local? Because it's where we build our local applications. In this case, we're going to be inside a share. Okay. And I need to add these files to the share. So I'm going to go ahead and drop them in there. I'm going to pop over here real quick, and I'm just going to select them both and right click in here and say extract here. And that'll give us the two folders. Awesome. Now there are a couple of things I need to do that you may not be aware of. I'm going to go ahead and grab a quadratic look in space sleek skin. Whoa. Right, hold down control and drag and drop. And I'm going to drop this into CEGUI here. Okay. Now sleek space skin here. Check it out. I can see the files that are in here. Well, look at image sets. What we have? Well, we have these type of images here. I'll right click on this to show you what I'm talking about. You see, this has all the different parts for the images, and it grabs from a different coordinate system for this image to pull out the different parts that are wanted or desired. And it has a really cool look to it. So this has the image set. So we have the file here and the actual image itself for doing the image set. Okay, cool. Well, if I'm over here in Sleek Space Skin, and I say image set here, and then I say this image here, I can then grab these here and copy and paste them into image set. Or not copy paste, drag and drop. Holding down control, left mouse, let go, just like on pretty much all the other operating systems too. That lets you copy it. Also, you'll see a look and feel here. So you'll see look and feel right here. So if I hold down control and let go, bam, it copies the look and feel. You also see scheme here too. So if I do the scheme, I can drag and drop over here in the scheme, and bam, I've installed this theme. That's all I had to do. Same thing here for this aquatic look, or aqua look, or whatever you want to call it. Also, due to, like, I guess an older version, or I don't know what, but to a certain setup here, we have to drag and drop these particular files into our categories over here, and the reason why is because it doesn't know to find them where you might expect it to find it. So because of that, we really actually need to tell it where they are. And I don't want to copy over a bunch of files for no real good reason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do links, system links. And links are a way better way of doing this. So it's not bad. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select animation here. I'm going to come over here to the animations. I'm going to hold down Alt. And Alt gives me a question mark here. If I let go of my left mouse button now, it'll pop up and ask me if I want to move, copy, or link it here. I'm going to link it. And you'll notice it actually puts a link, goes back over to where this file actually is. So even though the file's not there, it does run to the link, and the link tells it where the file is. So when it goes to look for this particular file in this folder, it'll find the link and it'll take it to the correct location for getting the file. So that takes care of the problem from our end, and that works great. Alright, so let's do the same thing for the other categories here. Let's do font. Holding down Alt, left mouse, let go. Link here. Alright. We're going to do the layout. So let's hit up our layout here. We're going to do link here for that. Our GUI scheme. Hold down Alt, let go of left mouse, link here. Alright, and then image set. Here we are. Link here. Alright, and then maybe I guess just for overall configuration we throw it into just regular CEGUI here possibly. Link here. Now this file guard, or file guard I guess, that goes into a certain folder and it's not apparent where it is. So let me pull that up over here so you can see it. Otherwise you won't see it. Okay, so let me go here to user. And this will let you know what to do, basically, with me showing you. In here, I'm going to go up to share, and there's a particular place where it goes, and that's not it. Oh, wrong one. CEGUI. I was like, something's not right. That's why it's not right. All right. I need to go inside share. My mistake. Alright, so inside of share, here we are. Alright, and we'll find Falograd somewhere. It's not in image sets. No, it's not in image sets. It's like it's either in layout or look and feel. I can't remember which it is. It's probably in look and feel then. Yeah, it's in look and feel. Okay, so that's where we drag and drop our link, is into the look and feel one. Alright, so let's go ahead and hop back real quick and do that. Okay, so I'm going to select the Falograd here, and where the look and feel is, I'm going to hold down Alt, left mouse, drag, drop, link here. Okay, and that now hand installs that. And those were important because if we didn't have those in place, then it wasn't going to work. Now, if you want to do the Aqua look here, it's no problem. You put these as you'd expect. Image set here would go into your image sets here. You can just copy it like so. Look and feel will go into the look and feel. I'm not going to bother because I know I'll have a problem since I didn't install the Xers, part of Xers that was missing. Scheme is going to go into your schemes. These fonts here, you'll get all of these right here at once go into your fonts. So that's how you install that one. Hold on, Control and drop, and then if you want, whoa, let me get rid of the copies. Didn't mean to make it do that. Oops. All right, and then your preview layout here is going to go into your layout one right here, and you just do that like so. All right. So that's how you install the Aqua look here. Alright. Now with that done and said, we're just about ready to get going here. Now we could do this image set launch here, granted if we had, oh not image set, but this CE layout editor, if we had the proper build over here, which is still building right now. I'll show you what I mean. I can't launch this currently. And the reason I can't is because that image set file isn't going to be there. So if I come in here real quick and I say /usr/local/bin like so, and it helps if I say cd to change directory into it. Oh goodness. Alrighty, and I say something like CE layout editor. It's probably not going to work because I'm not running as root, but yeah. Right. If I do an ls -l, I can see what the permissions are. And right now it's set to root. Obviously, I want this to be set to Nate right now. So I'm going to set this to my own user here for both of these files here. Now, in order to do that, I need to do a sudo in front of this because this is a root level command. And bam, there we are. And let's do a grp here. grp, not gro, grp. O and P are right next to each other and I keep mistyping it. Alright, ls-l here, and there we are, and now it says Nate here for group and user. User first, then group, and you see the same thing. Up here was root previously, so we've changed it from root to group, and that sets it to my user, which is great. That's what I want, groovy. Alright, and now if I go ahead and launch this application, it's still not going to work. Because why? Because yes, we're not done building the other part that I told you we needed. So basically that's the issue there. I could even do a sudo here. It's still not going to work because it's not ready. Or I guess I needed a sudo. Never mind. Alright. And yes, it doesn't work right here. Lib, CE, GUI, silly, image, codec is not here. So it's going to fail to work. And that's what we're building currently right now over here. So that's why we're doing that, and that's why we need to do that. But once that's done, we can launch this application with the command I just showed you. So if you do sudo space /CE layout editor, bam, after silly set up and done, you'll be ready to go. And all we have to do then is do an LD config here, and then you remember if you want, you can do a -v here to make it verbose, and then you can pipe it to a grep command like so, and then we could say, oh, for instance, lib CE GUI for instance. And there we go. We get all the ones that are just libcegui. And you can tell that, yeah, we don't have Silly is not in there yet. But it will be once we're done building and then doing a make install. And they'll fix that problem. And that's why we can't launch this thing yet. But with that, it'll be great. And that's basically all we're waiting on, really, at this point to make this work. Alrighty, so let's see how we are doing on our build. We still got a ways to go, it looks like. Alright, that's perfectly fine. Okay. Now, I talked about some of these other ones here. And yeah, you can even create a group too, which is really nice. There's a lot of stuff you can do on here. It's really, really cool. A button here is button. And that's how I did that chat window a second ago. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and set up a chat window real quick just to show you. So let's say if I'm over here in the root window, maybe you want to do team development and want to be able to have chat in there. Probably not, but let's say you do. Who knows? Or maybe you want the chat window to be visible in the editor when you're someone's doing the game development. Maybe you want that. You know, that's very possible there. It's more realistic, probably. But I mean, this could be used to do team chat development too. I mean, hey, why not? All right, but anyhow, let's drop over here in the frame window, and let's call this chat window. All right. And that's going to be the chat window. Alright. And it's under the wrong thing. Alrighty. So I'll need to delete that. Alright, so we do want this to be underneath this overall editor window and not under the property window when we do this. So I need to do that again. Let me say chat window. Like so. Alright, let me choose frame window here, say OK. And this just gives you an idea of how some of this stuff works a bit better. A bit better idea anyways. Alright, I'm just going to blow this up. Misselected. It's easy to do. You'll probably do it too. Make sure you get your clicks accurately set. Alright, so let's say something like that for the chat window. And say I don't accidentally misclick. Alright, there we are. So we have our chat window like so. I'm going to add a window to the chat window, which is going to be our multi-line text edit window. So I'm going to say this is our chat server EB for edit box. And so what I'm going to do is a multi-line edit box here. Or I could even do, oh yeah, multi-line edit box sounds great to me. That'll work for me. And I can say OK, like so. I could have done different options too if I wanted to for this one. This lets me show off multi-line edit box. So hey, more than one way you can do this. I can just blow that out, and this is going to be the messages from the server are going to appear in here, like so. If I select over on this window here, I can say chat, and it's going to show up as the chat window. Okay, cool. I'll go back here and select the chat window again, and then I'm going to say add window one more time. Actually, a couple more times. I'm going to choose edit box. I'm going to change the name to oh yes, one other thing. Make sure you actually click in here, otherwise it doesn't count. Edit box. Select that again. Thank you. All right, so chat, and I'll call this chat client EB for edit box. Okay, because this is going to be we're the client, and then we'll be sending out messages to the server from this whoever's typed in this line. So if I say OK to that, okay, it's going to give me this big edit box that I don't want that big. It's okay. I'm going to downsize it. And pull this over. Like so. And now I can type a message out here. But I need a send button to go right here. So I'm going to come back to my chat window. Make sure the chat window is selected. Otherwise, you'll be adding it to your edit box. You don't want that. And I'm going to come in here. I'm going to say chat send btn for button. Alright. And I'm going to find the button one. Button, say OK. And button's going to appear there. And I'm going to say send. Alright, so now it says send for our button. And our button is massive. It's way, way too big. So I'm going to click and drag this. Like so. And bang. There we go. Not bad. Not bad at all. We might need to pull that down slightly to make everything fit. And the space here. And there's our send set up here, which looks really cool and nice. Alrighty. And basically now we have it set up for our send button. We have our edit box, and there we got multi-line edit box where we can receive messages to that space there if we wanted to. We could have done it another way for receiving messages to it if we so desired. That would work too. You know, there's lots of different ways to do things. But yeah, that'll work right there. So let's go ahead and check out our setup here. Is it done compiling? That's the question. And the answer is no, it's still going. Alright, so this is probably going to be going for a little while. Again, once it finishes, we'll need to only type in 2 lines. Here in this window, once it's done compiling, you'll need to type in sudo space make install. And then hit enter. And then after that, you'll need to type in ld config. And if you want, you can say enter right then and there. Like for instance, like that. Oh, sorry, it needs to be sudo ld config. If you want to see the result from, you know, just do that -v there, grep it, and then we say lib CEGUI, and then we'll be able to see whether or not, you know, our silly image loader libraries were compiled or not, and installed properly. So that's great. Now let's see that. That makes life easy. Oh, and this is our analyst still running. I don't particularly feel like I need to run that anymore. Just going to go ahead and close that one. That was from when I was running the graphical GUI at root level for the file manager. Alright, so with this, that's going to continue compiling. That's all you have to do in order to get that done. Let me show you real quick how to save your layout after you're done, although it's not hard, thankfully. You just simply come up here. Once you get your whole layout for all your windows and everything you want, it's going to kick it out as an XML file, and we'll talk about that later. But right now we're going to go to File, and we're going to say Save As, and then you tell it where you want to save it. In my case, I'm going to want to save this into Home, Nate, Programming, and then wherever I wanted to go in here. I might want to be inside of SDL in here, which creates, I created a folder called Chat to store it in. But, you know, maybe I didn't want that. You know, maybe I want to call it, I don't know, Game Editor, for instance. And that's what my file is going to be. So I'm going to go inside of Game Editor, and this will be my Game Editor layout. And I can come back if I want later on and add to this, you know, whatever I need. And this will be saved, and this will be the layout for my Game Editor. And currently I have a property sheet, and I have this chat one. I can have this automatically create the controls as needed, and I can see how the code's going to lay out and look on the fly here. And if I have a node-based editor set up or whatever, this would let me do controls dynamically be generated and created here on the right hand side, kind of sort of like what we have with FX Composer, according to the CGFX files from CG. And then we could have different nodes here for driving the shading result. And then based on what node we clicked on, the properties of that node appear in the property editor. So of course we want to do that, and that'd be simple enough. But I guess with that pretty much covers basically how to go about making these graphical GUI windows. There's a lot of different options here. Feel free to play with more of them. There's a lot more you can play with. And that's how you get it set up, and that's how you get it installed, and that's how you get it going. Alright, so with that, this has been some more of Crazy Eddie's GUI layout system. And this is for doing our graphical interface for SDL programs here. And my name is Nate Nestler, and this is for Hyperactive Studios. Thank you very much. Alright, now we're just going to finish up here. So I'm back over here in the CEGUI 0.7.5, and I'm just going to do my sudo make install now that it's done compiling. Alright. And should update it the rest of the way. And the great thing about this, of course, is once it's done, we'll be able to let me go ahead and pop over here. I'm going to go back into my cd/usr/local/bin here, where the binaries are, and I'm just going to do like a dot, just do a sudo on that dot slash here, CE layout editor, like that. All right. Pop back over again, see if that thing's done. Okay, it's finished. Alright, we got our successful install. Alright, library should be there. And you put in my password now. Alrighty. And didn't work. And why didn't it work? Well, because we need to do an LD config here as root. So I need to do like a sudo LD config, like so. Okay, I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to hit the up arrow, hit enter to launch it. And now it works. So, wherever you want to put your files at or whatever is basically what it's saying here. Yeah, sure. Alright, so it wants a scheme there. We could have selected the other location we could have done. Here, real quick. The other location you could have done would have been inside of, and I was looking for it, is inside of, well, where we've been putting our files for the schemes and such. That would have been an easier way of doing this. I'll go ahead and say create a new one. I'll say no. And check it out, now we got everything. Which is very cool. Alright, so what I've done is over here in this one here, I typed in Nautilus. Well, I'll show you what I typed in. Typed in sudo space Nautilus here. Like that. And that let me run a GUI here, and then I went to these just like user here, local, then share, then into the CE layout editor, and then to CEGUI. So I went to CEGUI, and now I'm inside CEGUI, right? I select all my folders and files, and then I hold down Alt, and I dragged and dropped it into layout editor. Once I did, it came up for me to click on link here, and I've already done that, so I'm not going to do it again. And what that does is create symbolic links to all these files that it's actually looking for over here, since I just went ahead and said OK and didn't select the correct position. So if you accidentally go ahead and say OK instead of choosing CEGUI, then you can actually go ahead and link this over, and it's not going to be a problem for you. Once you do that, basically it's all going to work now. Check it out. oh yeah, if I type in sudo/ce layout editor now in here, watch, it'll just come up. And what matters about that is that when I come in here and say new one, say I don't want a full screen, blah blah blah. Say add window, check it out. Now I have access to Ogre, I have Tray here, I got Vanilla, Tahara's look, or however you say it, I don't know, image sleek, etc, etc, etc. So now I'm good to go. I'm done. That was it, you know. And now I can start making my GUI look the way I want it to look, etc, etc, etc. So with that, that covers the layout editor, getting it set up and making it work with CEGUI, Crazy Eddie's GUI, and that's, you know, we got it working now. So that pretty much covers the getting started here for the graphical editing here with Crazy GUI. My name is Nate Netzler, and this is for Hyperactive Studios. Thank you very much.